Hello and welcome back to my channel. You can tell something's different, not only just because I'm wearing glasses, but it is because we are now living in a new world where Phase 5 and a little bit of 6 has been announced for the upcoming plans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm going to be breaking down all the big announcements that Kevin Feige and company just released out of their Comic-Con panel tonight. A lot of things to get into. I'm very excited about it all. Let's jump right in. Now, one of the more surprising announcements that may be forgotten by the end of the night is that Kevin Feige confirmed that Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which will be coming out this November, will be the conclusion of Phase 4. Now, I know that might cause some glee in some fans, as Phase 4 has been a little bit controversial, but for me, I actually really enjoyed Phase 4 in the most part. I think the things that didn't sit well with me at first, like films like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness or Thor Love and Thunder, I've actually come around on, and I appreciate the boldness of Phase 4. The MCU has always been full of risk, going back to the whole inception of an interconnected storyline of films and then involving television, and how they created that mosaic of storytelling is always going to be impressive. But I think Phase 4, the projects themselves, they have greater creative ambitions. So even though I did enjoy Phase 4, I am looking forward to what's next, and that is another thing we got confirmed, which is the saga title of this new era of the MCU. The first 3 phases were the Infinity Saga. We got confirmation tonight that we are now in the Multiverse Saga, which is pretty exciting. I also feel that many of the people who had issues with Phase 4 cited a lack of cohesion with the ideas and having an issue with the overall plan. Now that we know this is the Multiverse Saga, I think that will help people going forward with Phases 5 and 6 and, I don't know, as many phases. I mean, we're going to be on Phase 30 before we know it. And I try to stay away from trailers to preserve the original theater-going experience I have with these films and shows, but I had to watch the Black Panther trailer, and my God, what a beautiful trailer. The cinematography, the score, the soundtrack, the visuals, the action. Angela Bassett.
I am queen of the most powerful nation in the world, and my entire family is gone. Have I not given everything?
Goosebumps, I'm speechless. It is such a empowering trailer. It is going to honor Chadwick Boseman's legacy. I don't know who couldn't not be excited for this movie. Just what a beautiful trailer. So starting off Phase 5 in a big way is a small movie, and that's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. We got our first official look at a poster for this film thanks to Andy Park, which not only shows off our first look of Scott and Hope in this film, but it teases the first official look at Kang the Conqueror. Of course, he who remains, who is in the finale of Loki, is not the Kang that will appear in this film. So we got a first official look at Jonathan Majors in this role, and then a new costume for Stinger, who from the comics is another alter ego of Cassie Lang. She's been called Stature when she's in the Young Avengers. I wonder if she will ever don that moniker. You know, we have certain characters like the Rambos when they could be Spectrum or Photon, and you know, they got to pick a name. So I wonder if they'll stay with Stinger, since that seems to be the outfit, or they have the Stinger outfit and they'll be Stature. Anyway, it's interesting to see that this seems to be a trio. It seems with every film in this trilogy, we're adding a member to the team as we go along. So it's interesting how much of a focus Cassie Lang is getting in this film. After Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, we hit our first Disney Plus series of Phase 5, and that is Secret Invasion. I could not be more excited for this show. This is one of my most anticipated Marvel projects based on the cast alone, setting aside the brilliant storyline from the comics that this sets to adapt. They described it as a Winter Soldier-esque, really serious drama show, a mystery thriller, as Colby Smulders even teases, you're not going to know who's a Skrull and who's not. I mean, all the show really needed for me was Emilia Clarke and Olivia Colman. That got me excited on its own, but I am so looking forward to this, and I really think this is going to be a television event, very similar to what I felt WandaVision was. This was also one of the projects that got an exclusive trailer for the Comic-Con audiences that we will probably see in the coming weeks, months, however long it takes. And who knows when we'll get to see this footage. I mean, they sometimes don't even release it. I mean, we never officially got to see the Infinity War trailer that played to the Comic-Con audience. So we'll see how long we have to wait for the rest of the public to get their first look at Secret Invasion. Moving on, we got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It got a new logo. The whole cast joined James Gunn on stage, and it's clear that this is going to be a very emotional outing. He says that this will wrap up the Guardian sector of the MCU, and I think we're going to see a lot of very heartfelt moments that James Gunn has always delivered in his trilogy. The search for Gamora, learning about the birth of Rocket, and then also we got some exciting new characters. MODOK will appear in the film, with the High Evolutionary being cast in the film by Chukwudi Iwiji, who of course had such a great job on Peacemaker on HBO Max. James Gunn pulled him off of that, put him in this, and I can't wait to see him in the MCU. We got more confirmations for projects that have been rumored or subtly announced. We got Echo confirmed for Phase 5, Loki Season 2, which we know just started filming. The Marvels is coming, which of course was just greatly teased by the end of Miss Marvel, so looking forward to that one. Blade is coming at the end of November 2023, which will mean 4 films in 2023. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania in February, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in May, The Marvels in July, and Blade in November. They seem to be now doing these 4 movies in 1 year. I mean, listen, we're kind of worried about MCU oversaturation, but if they keep bringing in the money, I don't know how Disney can really stop them. I mean, Marvel has shown that it can go at this speed until they show they can, and they're going to lose money for it. It seems like they're going to go all full steams ahead. And to be honest, I think that there's such a supportive audience that's there for the most part, that even if they lose some people because of the speed or not everybody gets everything, the audience is so large that those audiences that may dip in and out aren't going to really make that big of a difference in the grand scheme of things. So I think at the speed, it's a little fast. I'm worried it might get unwieldy, especially when we get to the end, when we talk about what they announced for Phase 6. But at this point, I think I'm cautiously fine with the pace of everything. But it is incredible when you look back at like Phase 1 and it had 6 movies over the course of 4 years. Now we have 6 movies over like the course of like a year and a half. Ironheart was confirmed for Phase 5, and it was also officially confirmed that she will be appearing in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which I assume will be her first appearance if she doesn't make an appearance in She-Hulk Attorney at Law. We got a new title for the Agatha Harkness show, now called Agatha Coven of Chaos. I'm so looking forward to this, not only for the return of Kathryn Hahn and her iconic role as Agatha Harkness, but this also brings the return behind the camera of Jack Schaefer, who is going to be creating and writing this series, or at least co-writing some of the episodes. And hopefully Elizabeth Olsen returns, and we got some big Daredevil news for those fans of that show. He will be getting a Disney Plus series entitled now Daredevil Born Again. It will be 18 episodes, which is 3 times as many as far as the majority of MCU Disney Plus shows. Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox are set to return, and I'm sure many others hopefully will return from the Daredevil Netflix space. The potential for other Defenders may come up. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Kristen Ritter makes an appearance here. So definitely very exciting news for the Daredevil camp. For all those with the hashtag Save Daredevil, it seems that they can now be changed to hashtag Daredevil Saved. The last 2 movies of Phase 5 will be Captain America New World Order, which of course was already announced to be directed by Julius Onoa, who did fantastic work on the film Loose. If you haven't seen that film, check it out. A really stark and compelling drama about model minorities in modern education and our modern media landscape. Really, really great film. Naomi Watts, Tim Roth, Octavia Spencer, and Kelvin Harrison Jr. That film will of course star Anthony Mackie as Captain America, and I'm really excited for this one. I'm excited for what Falcon the Winter Soldier paved the way for Sam Wilson, and I just hope this time, unlike the show, we get a better villain to go up against him. And then a new film they announced tonight was Thunderbolts. Now, I'm not quite sure, I don't think the panel confirmed who will be on the Thunderbolts, but I'm sure we can expect that Yelena Belova will probably be one of the leading members, and this seems to be what will be in place of a Black Widow 2. This seems to be where Yelena will take the lead, and I guess I'm fine with that. I mean, I would have preferred if Kate Shortland came back to do a Black Widow 2 with Florence Pugh at the helm, but I understand if this is the consolation that we must take, given that, you know, Black Widow, of course, was kind of a reward for Scarlett Johansson and her tenure at Marvel, and, you know, maybe that movie they don't see as being big enough. I mean, the movie, I think, did well for the pandemic, you know, as being the first Marvel movie to get people back into Marvel movies, but I understand if this is the route they now go with the Black Widow sector of the MCU, because I definitely think there's a lot there to tap into. And then the big mic drop. I gotta be honest, following this on Twitter, as of course I was not in the panel this evening, I was kind of feeling a little bit underwhelmed when I thought that Thunderbolts was the last announcement of the night. And I kind of felt that, Marvel didn't really have their big mic drop moment. I mean, I felt like it didn't even have close to a Blade moment in announcing Mahershala Ali like the last Comic-Con panel in 2019 did. But then they announced 3 projects. One, they had already teased, and we already had a logo for, which was Fantastic Four. No casting or director news yet. That will probably come at D23, or get leaked before D23, as, a lot of these projects, like the copyright information that had to be logged before the panel, was how we found out some of these projects were happening, which is just crazy how the internet and media culture works nowadays. But we got an official release date for the Fantastic Four, which is November 8th, 2024. I'm glad it's coming in 2024, since it's no longer part of Phase 4. It's not even part of Phase 5. It will be the first film so far of Phase 6. All of these could change because, of course, what's not here are Spider-Man. We don't know if Spider-Man 4 is officially happening, where it will be. Of course, Spider-Man No Way Home was nowhere a part of the 2019 Comic-Con announcement. But let's talk about their biggest hits, which is one of the biggest, just insane moves I have ever seen Marvel make. They announced Avengers 5 and 6. Avengers 5 with the subtitle The Kang Dynasty, and Avengers 6 with the title Secret Wars. Both projects are going to have such huge repercussions. I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised that we're getting in another Avengers movie so close to Endgame. These films will only come out 5 years after Endgame, which, to be honest, I'm kind of surprised with. I thought that we would usher more into the Fantastic Four, the Thunderbolts, the X-Men, which really didn't get any, no mutant knowledge even after the Miss Marvel tease at the end of her finale. We kind of got no mutant knowledge, and I was surprised because I always felt that the Avengers, that brand, that franchise name was going to be saved and really only apply to the original 6 and the Infinity Saga. It seems to be not the case. We're going to get a new team of Avengers. I'm interested to see who exactly will be on the team. We can make some assumptions, Sam Wilson probably, Yelena, Kate Bishop. It's interesting. Some of these heroes, will they be young Avengers? Will they be proper Avengers? We shall see that soon. I mean, also no young Avengers news really, except, them, they keep popping up in some of these other MCU projects. I imagine that might be a D23 announcement, is a Young Avengers Disney Plus show. But the most shocking news out of these 2 Avengers announcements are the release dates, which it's such a Marvel thing that the biggest thing is when they're coming out, is a release date. But for me, it is the fact that we're going to get Avengers 5, The Kang Dynasty, in May of 2025, and then Avengers 6, Avengers Secret Wars, in November of 2025. 2 Avengers movies within the same calendar year. Yes, because I know people will say, well, technically Infinity War and Endgame were within the same year because, how calendars work. Avengers Infinity War was April 27th, 2018, and Avengers Endgame was April 26th, 2019. Yeah, I know, but this is different. We're going to get them so soon, so close to each other that, it's really surprising. I wonder why they feel that these movies need to be so close and they're not waiting for May. Maybe the movie that they're going to put in May of 2026 is so huge that they feel that an Avengers movie needs, or just the way they're scheduling this, they feel that movie has to be in between. It's really shocking when you think about it. I also think it speaks to Kevin Feige understanding that the Ant-Man movies really need to step up, that he's putting the big bad of the next Avengers movies in Ant-Man and the Wasp 3. I'm really excited to learn more about these next Avengers movies. And it's also interesting that it seems that Avengers movies have now become 2-parters, essentially. Infinity War and Endgame were essentially a 2-parter. These, I would assume are 2-parters. They're coming out so close together, they may as well be one movie. So yeah, definitely a lot of interesting things that Kevin Feige teased. As a huge Marvel fan, I am just salivating at all of these announcements. I really think this is going to be such an interesting saga now. We now know it's the multiverse saga. Let me know all your comments down below of what your biggest surprises were, what your biggest takeaways, what you loved about the Marvel panel, what you might be worried about, your thoughts about Phase 4, anything at all. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you guys for listening to my breakdown about Marvel's Comic-Con panel for 2022. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to not miss any new videos from Spoilers Ahead with Anthony Post, including my MCU ranked video, which will be going up very, very soon. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you at the movies.